Chapter 23, Part 2. "Are you okay?" she asked me at last. "I'm fine," I lied. My nausea hadn't passed, but I wasn't about to give Mum an excuse to smother me again. I wish Nan was here. I badly wanted to talk to her. "Mum," I began. The doorbell rang. "I'll get it," I said. "No, Mum," said at once. "Kathy," Dad admonished gently. "The crowds have gone, the police have gone, and most of the letters have stopped. We can't spend the rest of our time in this house living in fear." I saw Mum take a deep breath. "I thought you were going to open the door," she snapped. I smiled. I knew the snap wasn't directed at me, even if I lived to be 90. Mum would still be fussing over me. I went back out into the hall, thinking how nice it was to walk into the house and not hear a major argument going on between Mum and Dad. Things seemed to be working out after all. I opened the front door. "Dr. Bryce," I said, surprised. "We only saw you a week ago. You're not due again until after Christmas." "I need to speak to your parents," Dr. Bryce told me, with no trace of a smile. One look at his face and I could see it was serious. Without a word, I stepped aside. Dr. Bryce came into the house and headed straight for the living room. I closed the door slowly behind him. I stood out in the hall for a few moments. I didn't want to go into the living room. I was afraid of what I would hear. Maybe if I stayed out in the hall, then whatever it was wouldn't be about me and wouldn't affect me. But it didn't work that way. Whatever it was, it wouldn't go away. Just because I wanted to do my ostrich act and bury my head in the hall carpet. I walked into the living room. Mum and Dad were sitting on the sofa, with Mum's feet now firmly on the ground. Dr. Bryce was in the armchair. They all watched me as I sat down next to Dad. "I've got some bad news." Dr. Bryce didn't even attempt to beat about the bush. He turned and looked directly at me. "To put it simply, Cameron, your white blood cells count is way up." "My T cells or my B cells?" I asked. Dr. Bryce was too worried to be impressed. "How much do you know about the way your immune system and your white blood cells work?" "Only what we've done in biology and what I've read in books and over the internet," I admitted. "Hang on, what does all this mean exactly?" Dad asked quietly. A deep silence filled the room. "It means," Dr. Bryce began, "it means that maybe my body is starting to reject my new heart." I interrupted, never taking my eyes off the doctor. "Not necessarily. It may just mean that we need to rethink the dosage and content of your anti-rejection and immunosuppressant drugs. The trouble with all these drugs is that it's a fine balancing act between what and how much of each drug you should get." "I thought you said you developed a new drug, a complement blocker that would stop Cameron's body rejecting his heart." Mum's expression was stony. "We have, I think. I hope we just need to amend the dosage. Cameron, I've brought you a new series of injections which I'd like you to start taking immediately. I'll take the old ones back with me." "More injections?" Mum said, dismayed. "We've reached a deal with a pharmaceutical company only this week. They've agreed to start manufacturing the drug in tablet form from the new year. We don't have the resources at my clinic to do that, so hopefully the injections won't be for too much longer. Cameron, I also want to change the immunosuppressant tablets you're taking. I think we need to be more aggressive." "Will all this work?" I asked. "It's impossible to tell. All we can do at this stage is monitor you closely and keep fine-tuning the dosages of the various drugs you need to stop your body rejecting your new heart." Dr. Bryce dug into his large briefcase and brought out a clear plastic box full of vials. "We don't want your body to reject your new heart, but at the same time, we don't want to leave your immune system so weak that you couldn't fight off a cold if you caught one." "I understand," I nodded. "How have you been feeling, Cameron? Have you been feeling more tired than normal, or maybe a bit ill?" "No," I shook my head. "I've been feeling fine. Great, in fact." Dr. Bryce studied me. "I think I should go back to seeing you weekly rather than monthly." "But what about my fortnightly checkups at the local hospital? Do you still want me to go there as well?" "Yes, I think so. So I'll speak to the hospital. I also want to change a few of the tests you regularly have." I shrugged. "Okay, if you think I should." "I do," Dr. Bryce replied. "Well, I'd better go upstairs and get on with my homework." I said, jumping to my feet. No one told me to stay, so I didn't. I left the room and forced myself to run up the stairs, even though I was dog-tired. When I got to my room, I chucked myself down on my bed, gasping for breath. My heart was pounding again. I told myself that the stairs weren't responsible for my racing pulse. It was Dr. Bryce's news, but I knew that was only partly true. I thought of Alex downstairs waiting to be born, but the thought hurt. So I turned my thoughts to the swimming pool at my local leisure centre instead. I'll make you a deal. I spoke to my heart. I'll play Daredevil dive just one more time. If I manage to touch the bottom of the pool, then you have to stay inside me and not cause any more trouble. And I spoke to the rest of my body. And you have to leave my heart alone and let it get on with pumping my blood around my body. Okay, everyone. I'll try to touch the bottom of the pool just one more time. And if I manage it, then we all live together until we're 90. Agreed? It was agreed. I'd go to the pool after school tomorrow. I was in control once again. Not my body, not my heart, but me. All I had to do was touch the bottom of the pool. My future was now back in my own hands. Right. We have, let me count for you, 27 pages remaining. I didn't see that curveball coming. I wasn't prepared for that. So there is a chance that Cameron's heart could reject. I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for that. So I'm going to have to be doing lots of deep breathing over the next 2 days when I read this to you on Thursday and Friday. I have loved this chapter and the way it's moved the story on and taking. I thought the rest of the book now was going to be winding down, friends with Marlon, friends with Julie, happily ever after. But Malorie Blackman has done what authors struggle to do, and she has done it brilliantly. She's pulled the carpet from under us. I didn't see it coming. Not in a million years. Well done, Malorie Blackman. So, tune in tomorrow. We've got 2 chapters tomorrow and then 1 on Friday. We're so close to finishing this. I have loved this book. It will be the 3rd book we completed as a class this year, after Holes and Alex Rider, which is really good going. I'll tell you now, I think it's the first time, sadly, I've completed 3 books in a year in a long, long time. And then we'll be starting our 4th book of the year together next week. Right, enjoy your Wednesday evening. Let's brace ourselves for tomorrow. I don't want you to see me cry, but if it happens, it happens.